Schnarr's knife really be an effective weapon? Ah! Hello and welcome to the Schnarr Cooking segment, or SCS. Name's Brian and we'll be your chefs for today, as I have the Wizard here to help us out.
Hi.
So what are we making there today, Wizard?
The idea was a chicken sausage cannelloni with fresh Parmigiano Ramaggio and some nice cheesy buns as a bonus.
Bada bing, bada boom. We're going Italian today. And as you can see, we've got our mild Italian style sausage. We've also got our sauces to help make things work out as well. We've got our cannelloni, which is going to be the most important thing because you got to stuff the meat in something. And to go with the sausage, we got chicken. Good old chicken. And we're using a bell pepper. Muy bueno, good stuff. And of course, we're using, as well as the Parmigiano Reggiano, which I believe I said that wrong because I don't Italian. We also have this standard Cracker Barrel cheese. It's a good thing, especially since it's a combination of mozzarella and cheddar. It should be really good on the profile thing. What do we do first, Dad? Said something about chopping things, right? So, good old knife. That's not a good knife. That's not a knife. What do you think? This is a knife?
This will be sous chef duties. We're going to use a red pepper. We got some green and yellow pepper here.
And
Some fresh garlic. Obviously the sausage and the chicken needs to be chopped up before it can be sauteed. We're going to cook all that down as soon as we get it chopped.
excellent. Let us get to chopping then. So as you can see, we're going to be chopping up those peppers into nice little pieces to make things easier to stuff in. Can't stuff a whole pepper into one noodle after all. And as they always say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Same principle here. Nice slice and dice. We're doing all that good stuff here. Meantime, I'm going to be washing this pepper right here. Very important that you do that with any produce you get, just in case there's any funky stuff going on. Now that our pepper is nice and washed, he's going to cut it wide open. Cut it into nice hollow pieces. If you're buying these peppers whole, you need to check and make sure that they are firm and hollow. Is that right, Dad?
Yes.
And why do you do that exactly?
I just want to make sure they're properly ripe, and you know, if they're soft or squishy at all, they're probably overripe.
Which is you. That's not good.
And if they're not ripe enough, they're typically kind of bitter. So, yeah.
Unless you like your coffee black, bitter's probably not the best way to go with.
Should also have an onion for this, Brian.
Indeed. And now,
Yellow onion's fine.
to acquire an onion. And now, we got ourselves a fresh onion, ready to be chopped. Let's see if we can make the wizard cry today. Now my inner scientist is, of course, going to explain to you why onions make you cry. Whenever you cut into an onion, sulfurous compounds are released into the air. And when they hit your eyes, most importantly, it causes your eyes to water because sulfur is generally bad. That's why a lot of people have different ways of trying to deal with crying onions, from sticking out your tongue so that the sulfurous compounds hit that first and prevent your eyes from getting all watery, to wearing a gas mask. And I mean, while a gas mask would work, who keeps a gas mask around anyway? Same idea here with the peppers. You chop into teeny tiny pieces to make them easier to fit into things, and generally, it looks way better when you keep them nice and cut too. Check out those sweet knife skills. Rock and roll. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to turn the oven on, or the stove on rather. In our case, we're using a oven that has numbers, so we're putting it at number 7. If you have words, it'll probably be a high, not super duper high, but like a high, so that you can get the pan nice and hot for the oil.
Medium high.
Medium high. The wizard knows what's up. Dad's cutting up the garlic right now. Garlic is real good in most things, and plus it makes you less attractive to vampires, which is a win in my book. Right now he's just kind of removing the skin of the garlic, getting to the core essence of the garlic, which is exactly what we need. A little extra garlic. Real good.
These take about 10 minutes to cook, or so, to get down where the onions are translucent and they start to caramelize and some of the sugar comes out. The garlic takes about a minute. So if you put the garlic in with that, by the time that's cooked, this is burnt Burnt garlic, bad.
Very bad. Excellent. I can feel the heat coming off of that pan now.
Okay, test it with a splash of water. That was a good thing. Not yet.
Not quite yet. We haven't seen some sparks yet. So, next phase. What do we got? Sausage.
I'm gonna prep our meat here.
Indeed. Beverage aside.
We want to remove it from its skin. Sausage.
Indeed. So we just have the beef, not the skin.
That's right. Don't want that.
And this is perfectly edible, obviously.
You can tell the difference between synthetic and real casings just by touching them.
So, in your expert opinion, what are they? Synthetic or
Definitely real.
Excellent. So that means they are edible. Muy bueno.
It's actually the washed intestine, typically from a cow.
So what's that? So that's the outer layer. Is that the inner layer as well?
Negative. And this is primarily made of collagen, so has very little nutritional value. It's really just there to hold the sausage together.
Collagen is what makes up your skin, by the way. So this is kind of like eating skin.
Stop eating that.
I'm not eating it. I'm throwing it. Well, I ate the first little bit, but I'm going to throw the rest away.
Don't feed it to the dog.
That's not what I plan on doing. Speaking of dog, here's our little co-star right now. His name's Kamir. Look at him being adorable. Alright, so I'm going to throw this out, because it's no use to us. I'm guessing that means it's ready.
Means it's hot for sure.
Look at the water dancing. That is a scientific effect that unfortunately is not coming to me right now. I will explain when I get a chance.
Hot pan.
Gotcha. So, now with our hot pan, we are going to be adding some olive oil. Not too much, mind you. We're probably going to just be doing a tablespoon. Alright, yeah, this is a tablespoon. Should be good enough. Do it over the pan so that any extras end up in the pan so we don't waste. And there we go. Now, on to the next stage. Meantime, we're going to watch this awesome meat cutting technique of the good old wizard, who has excellent cutting techniques. Looks like the dog wants some, but unfortunately, he ain't getting some. But I think he wants to be outside as well, so I shall make that happen. There we go. Now, onto the awesomeness that is chicken, my personal favorite kind of meat. Easy cuts, nothing too crazy. You want to have your chicken cut to roughly equal thickness so that one side does not really cook quicker or slower than the others, because if one side cooks unevenly, that's not good. Next thing you know, you're going to have either burnt chicken or undercooked chicken. The last thing we need is either of those, especially the undercooked chicken, because that's how you get really dangerous things like salmonella and other nasty pathogens that you do not want in your body. So keeping everything nice and even helps make things cook evenly, so that there's no undercooking, no overcooking, and everything cooks just right. It's a good technique to plan overall. Make sure you sharpen up your cutting skills, and you'll be good to go. So the meat is in the same container. That means it'll probably take the same amount of time to cook, yeah?
Yep.
Rock and roll. It's very important that you wash your hands when you are handling any kind of poultry, but especially chicken. Why, you might ask? Well, it's simple. If you mishandle chicken and, handle dirty chicken and don't cook it properly, you're gonna have all kinds of sicknesses. Good example of bad pathogens that you want to avoid: salmonella and just general food poisoning. Poultry's really bad for food poisoning, so As long as you cook it nice and well and evenly, that's important, make sure no chicken is undercooked, you'll be good to go, and you'll probably prevent the food poisoning, which, let's face it, nobody wants to be yakking for 3 days because they had bad chicken. It's just not good. Now we're putting meat in the pan. I believe I'm doing it with a tool or barehanded.
Just dump that whole thing in there.
All right, dumping meat in the thing. Gotta be careful because splashed oil. It's hot, not good. Oh yeah, listen to that sizzle. Ow, that's hot. And now we, hey, saitama. Gotta be careful when you're messing with oil because if it gets hot and you get a lot of it on you, that's how you burn yourself. Now just kind of smoosh it around, make sure we get it nice and even. We don't want these guys hanging on the edges, otherwise they're not really going to cook all that well.
Can you leave that for later, maybe?
Indeed.
Could be raw.
Look at how some of them are already nice and brown. Get a good close up of that. Oh yeah. I love the zoomed in shots. I have to do more of them. Yeah, these are even a little more. Maybe like that for a B-roll.
A little bit of salt and pepper.
A little bit of salt and pepper indeed. And in our case, we're actually using Mediterranean sea salt. Let's get a good look at that. Aw, yeah. That is money right there. Salt helps amplify flavor, and it does drain moisture, but that could be a good thing. So, it's a really good thing to throw on in general. Just not too much of it, because, you know, salty things tend to be really, really bad. Right, fighting game community members? I'm just kidding. Alright, so here's another real hot cooking tip from the Wizard. And myself, of course. You do not want to pour any grease or oil down the sink. That's bad for the pipes. It's going to clog it, and it's just going to be gross. And the plumbing costs are going to be through the roof. And what does the Wizard hate more than anything?
Plumbing!
Exactly. So what he's doing right now is he is putting the cooked meat on the strainer and filtering out all the excess oil and grease into a old jar of Vlasic pickles. And with that, eventually, when we have the jar big enough, we throw it out, I'm guessing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Boom. That's what you do with the grease. You throw it out. Don't pour it down the sink, guys. Plumbing costs are bad. And
Store it! Don't pour it!
that's exactly right. The vegetables.
Yes, do it.
Okay, now we're gonna be sauteing the veggies next. Gotta be careful. There. Got the vast majority in there, so we're almost good. Gotta make sure we get them nice and sauteed. It takes about 10 minutes, but it's gonna be worth it. Remember earlier, it's what I said, it'll take about, what he said rather, it'll take about 10 minutes for this to be done, and then we'll move on to the garlic, since the garlic will take much shorter. And no burnt garlic. Burnt garlic is bad. Also, if I remember correctly, it also removes its properties of dealing with vampires, so if you're afraid of vampires, don't burn your garlic. That's a really good thing to know.
You turn that up to like 8. And salt and pepper, of course. Right.
Indeed. Salt and pepper brings out the flavor. Make sure that things don't taste so bad. Well, I mean, these things taste real good, but they'll taste better with salt and pepper. Clearly, I don't write songs often, otherwise, you know, I probably would have come up with something like this. Oh, and real rule of thumb, and a good rule of thumb, always have your little cooking buddies. Really good to know. Little predator here, their mascot.
Just imagine this in your sink. Imagine it.
That is why you store it, don't pour it. If you're wondering what kind of noodles we were using for this, we're using cannelloni. This. Look at the size of this noodle. It's...
Cannelloni.
I was close. It's like a noodle cigar. But we're going to be stuffing these with the meat and veggies that we got over there. It's going to be fantastic. There we go. So now, if you're wondering exactly what the hell you're waiting for so that you can hear a garlic game, you're going to be wanting to wait for the onions to kind of start to caramelize a little bit. That's when they kind of start to turn translucent and brown, and the sugar start to come out. That's what you're looking for. If it's too soon, the garlic will burn. If it's too late, then by the time the garlics are cooked, you risk burning the onions. And arguably, that's probably even worse.
Timing's everything.
Exactly. Especially when it comes to cooking.
A minute or so.
Got her. Another minute, we'll be ready to go. It's worth noting that the cannelloni that we are working with is oven ready, meaning we didn't have to, boil it or anything like that. It's ready to just go straight in the oven. This is just for convenience and speed's sake. But if you do find cannelloni that isn't oven ready, that's perfectly fine. You just do what you would normally do with cannelloni, like boil it or get it ready to go, and you're all well and good. You're all set.
Over here, Brian, you can see that.
And that there's our sauce right there.
You get color.
As you can see, there's a little bit of browning going on in our vegetables, and things have kind of shrunken down. That's the beginning of caramelization, which means it's about time we throw in the garlic, right?
Yeah.
Garlic time! There we go. Garlic made available. Now, like we said, the garlic's only going to take about Okay. What we're actually going to do is switch pans right away. Which we're going to be doing boom. And then we're going to throw the veggies inside. There we go. Maximize veggie potential. And now, get them all nice and sauteed, as it were. It's going to be a fantastic time. Adding it right now?
Yeah.
Now, time to add the sauce. It's a big old jug, so take a little bit of effort, but nothing too crazy. There we go.
When you dump your sauce in, the less height, the less splash.
Handy tip from master to novice.
Reduce heat to medium-low.
So that'll be what, a 4?
2, 3.
3 it is.
Stir and cover and simmer for 5 minutes.
Bada bing, bada boom. That is the plan today. So, simmer.
Start recording so you can get a lid.
Now we're going to leave it to simmer there for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to probably move on to the next stage. Now, next stage, right here.
Assembly.
Everything is all ready to go for assembly. So,
Small layer on the bottom.
okay, time for a small layer of this stuff right on the bottom. We're doing it with the tool so that we don't make the mistake that I almost did, and problems.
Good. Spread that around as a small layer.
Yeah, that's probably plenty to cause a, quote, small layer.
Indeed. Backup tool.
Thank you. Excellent. Nice even coating for the same reasons as we wanted an even thing for our chicken. Less risk of over and undercooking. I mean, the chicken's already cooked at this point, but it doesn't hurt to regardless. Alright, now, we take a noodle. We take our thing, put it in here, like this, and fill her right up. That's it.
Your stuff's on the thing over there.
Thank you. Ah! You can already feel the heat rising in the thing.
Lay your noodle down, place it off to one side.
All
When
right.
it's full.
So, bada bing, bada boom.
When it's full.
Ah!
Yours wasn't full.
Recovery. Cat. So, it's emptying right now. Why are you so hot? So here's the first layer done. This is what it looks like. Now we're going to show you the actual process, but we're going to throw in a little bit of time lapse and maybe some funny music to boot. And look at that, extra sauce for awesomeness. So here's generally what it's going to look like. We're going to throw in an extra layer though, with some fresh Parmesan Reggiano. Look at that. We're going to throw it on there for a little extra Parmesan awesomeness. And then we're going to cue the time lapse and include the Benny Hill theme. Bam! And for the final main step, we need to open up and throw everything inside. Set the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about, 45 minutes? 46. Excellent. And then, in 46 minutes, we're eating.
So loud and clear, you're screaming, covered up with a smile I've learned to fear. Just sunshine and blue sky is the all we get for living here. Come fire, let it burn and love come racing through.
Cat. Kitty. Cat. So cute. So, I'm guessing we just pour this in here?
Negative.
Ghost Rider.
What do you think would happen if you did that?
Probably bad stuff.
Indeed. Use a tool.